What up, what up, what up? What up, world? What's up? I'm Khepresh, and welcome to the Monday Jump Off number. Man, yeah, number 53. Chilling, hanging out. Happy MLK Day, Martin Luther King to everybody. Hope everybody has off and enjoy their family and hang out and support a black brand and do something cool, or just kick your feet up, go train, go work out, go for that long run. Enjoy yourself. So, I got a really good question from an anonymous person. You know, always, if you ever want me to discuss anything from my perspective or point of view, just always, hit me in the DM or message me here, and we'll make it happen. So this person wants to stay anonymous, but the question was, so what makes people believe absurd conspiracy theories? And, then I went on to ask, was there any particular conspiracy theories that they wanted me to discuss? And then they sent them to me. But I just want to answer that question. Truthfully, a lot of people are always looking for something, right? It's like living in a live action movie in their mind. This is happening, this is happening, this is happening. They can point you to the problem, but really can point you to the solution. And I think too, people just like to think everything is against them, or everything is happening, or there's some evil dark entity or some dark round table that that's happening, and you can't really prove it. That's why it's a conspiracy. Like, you can't really say that, oh, it might be a group of men and women sitting in a dark castle somewhere and putting plans together 10, 15, 20 years ahead of time, and they're making things happen because they have money and resources. It's very much a possibility. So I think that's why people really can believe in almost any conspiracy, because the possibility is there. Now, the question is, are these things actually happening? Or are these things, even if they are happening, are they affecting your reality of you being healthy, of you being successful, of you being a better pillar in your family, a better friend in your life, building your wealth, creating your own brand, things of that nature. That's ultimately the question that has to be asked, right? As far as those conspiracies. So that's, what makes people believe absurd conspiracy theories, I think, because it gives them something to do. It's like reality TV of the thought and mind, right? So I can see that. But you did give me a list of some conspiracies to discuss. First one, school shootings are staged, and every school shooting, there is a crisis actor or actress. Okay. My answer to that is I think the school shootings are real. Real people die. No, I don't think there's like a chip implanted in these students that are, shooting up these schools. Like, they're not being controlled like a drone or something like that. I've heard that before. I just think it's, kids that feel so far gone and, outsidered, or, for whatever reason, losers do loser things. So, but no, I don't think school shootings are staged by anyone. I think they are happening, and it's really sad that it's happening. And you can track the body count. Now, as far as the people on camera screaming and yelling to, to boost it up or whatever, who knows? Who knows? That might be an actor, actress, or whatever. Who knows? But as far as the actual event itself, No, it's a very real thing. It's a very sad thing. And, people are losing their kids to just unprecedented, violence of that. So, nah, I would say that's not a staged event. School shootings are not a staged event for sure. You know what I mean? Yeah. A lot of people, peace to Simone. Yeah, a lot of people are definitely in denial that crazy things are actually happening. Yeah, for sure. I like that. The next one, which is a good one. Chemicals in water turning people gay. Huh. Okay. This is a twofold part because I worked for a particular pharmaceutical company, real early 2000s. I won't put them out there, but if you can look up some articles in the Mercer County area, right? That's like New Brunswick, Trenton, Hopewell, New Jersey, etc., like those locations, that a particular company was dumping, few particular companies were dumping their feminine products, whether it was birth control or whatever else, their feminine hormonal products in the Mercer County area water supply. And then I tried to find that article. I will research that though and get that information and put it in the description for sure. But I remember reading that back in the 2000s, and I never drunk tap water again, early 2000s. Check, let me see. But I did find an article from, so I tried to go back not too far when I saw that. I remember my time period of reading the paper, when you had the actual newspaper, right? Because the internet wasn't like that. And it was an article about that happening, feminine supply products being dumped in the water in the Mercer County area. But I didn't want to go back too far. But also, you can look up an article in the New York Times, and it says Bristol Myers pleads guilty to pollution. It's from April 25th, 1992. With this particular company was dumping their water supplies in Syracuse, New York. They were dumping chemicals. Now, do I know that these chemicals, what they were? No, I do not. But I know there's a great article from April 25th, 1992, that demonstrates that they were really, they were really dumping their chemicals inside the water supplies up in Syracuse. So let me see if I can find, they gave an example of some of the chemicals. Maybe we can research them as far as what they do. And this is going back to 92. I didn't want to jump too far back. And then I know there's an article in the really early 2000s about the feminine products. And they were fined like $3.5 million back then for this dumping habit that they did. Man, they state the chemicals. There's a part of this where they state the chemicals, but I'll reread it and look through it. But yeah, this is definitely a good article from the New York Times, April 25th, 1992. And then I'm going to find another one that happened in Mercer County, New Jersey. So going back to the question though, chemicals in water turning people gay. I mean, these chemicals may affect, like, they said like certain chemicals that they were dumping had started changing, male frogs into female frogs type of thing. They were losing their male parts and becoming feminine. so like unable to procreate in their natural habitat due to the dumping. That's an actual thing. I believe there's an actual BBC show on that, from the chemical dumping from many of these corporations with their feminine surprise. And there may be signs of, men getting that take the water and losing, like how our pecs, form a particular way. There has been cases of men growing more like breast-like chest, lactating type of thing, being like emotionally, like chemically unbalanced from it. But I'm not too sure due to that if that would turn a person gay. It would have to be something already inside of them. Perhaps, but it is something to investigate. But no, I don't think that there's just a pill that they're dumping in the water supply and mysteriously you just turn out gay. But I do think the possibility of these chemicals in the water supply, of causing, more breast cancer in men and things of that nature, it is quite possible, causing men features to be like, the chest to grow more like breast and things of that. There is cases of that. So that's quite possible. So we can call that one a 50-50, right? We need the so-called conspiracy people to do more research and come back with something instead of like, oh, they're dumping. But there is actual cases of like body dysmorphia in men that drink like tap water in certain locations. That's not everywhere though. So I think the question is like, oh, it's happening everywhere. No, it's happening in like spotty places. And I don't know if, I think people who go hyper on this, they think there's like some weird gay coalition or like mafia that's trying to take over the world or something like that. So they're pumping it on the TV, and like they have a theory as if, homosexuality didn't already exist throughout the world, and that people who practice the homosexual lifestyle isn't 10% of the population, and that's probably not going to change. They're probably always going to remain about 8 to 10% of the population, and that's just life. But that's probably not going to. That's probably not going to like. It's not going to go up. It's not going to go down. It's at its plateau because there are human beings who like the same sex, right? So, but the chemical things, it is a 50-50 one, because you got articles. We can go from maybe like the 80s, but if we stayed in the 90s, we have a lot of articles on like these different chemicals being dumped. There's articles in the 2000s about like a lot of feminine products being dumped in different water supplies. And there's some cases of men, chest growing like breast, etc. Breast like, let me not say like breasts like, woman would have, but like really breast like. And a high disturbance in men hormonal chemical hormones. So that's definitely something to investigate, but I don't know if that is just outright turning people gay, because just because something's happening to your body, you would still have to have the desire to, that's just a part of who you are, to desire to want that. So second one, 50-50, So last question of the conspiracy. These are good. Omicron is a government hoax. No, that's not true. Omicron is a real variant of the COVID-19 virus. It's definitely not a hoax. It exists. And there's actual data that it is an actual thing and it actually exists. Um, as far as being as dangerous as they making it, probably not, because every, just basic science 101, every time a virus mutates, it gets weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. And if this is like the third or fourth mutation, I'm hearing people are only getting like 24-hour fevers or like 48 hours of like sickness, and then they're pretty much back to normal, maybe just like a little lingering cough, but nothing crazy with this variant. It's not as severe as when everything first happened. So I would say that is not a hoax, and that is a real thing. And people, and granted, it does spell moronic when you kind of flip it around, but no, I think maybe that conspiracy is based off people trying to say it's not as severe as when everything else happened. You know what I mean? So if the severity is dropping, you know, if the severity of the virus is dropping, then we're going back being closer to regular society, meaning like this will be put into the aspect of having a cold or catching the flu or catching pneumonia kind of thing. It won't be in the aspect of a, of like a pandemic, as I like to call it, but a pandemic is what the media calls it. So I think, having the different variants happening, and you can see the actual you can get the actual like chemical make of them too, from like CDC and things of that nature, that shows that it is a breakdown from the original launch that came out of Wuhan, right? So no, that's not a hoax. So it's a real thing. Whether the acronym breaks down to moronic or not is an actual real thing. It's just that now we know we're going more endemic instead of pandemic, and that's an actual good thing, because it's spreading so fast. So many people are getting it that we're going to be able to go back into regular, society, just due to herd immunity. So it's cool. Yeah. Oh wow. Um, I've haven't read too many things about people fighting. Oh, they did send me another one too. Wow, you on the roll. You on the roll, anonymous. Another example was people fighting to get into establishments that require a vaccine card. I don't know about that. I think some fights, depending on what city. You're in New York City. People are hyper volatile. Yeah, with friends, check them. They ain't got it. It's possible. It's possible people are fighting host. I did see some play. I did see some news coverage of people fighting like the hostess at the thing. They came from like Texas or something like that, one of those southern states, and came to New York City and couldn't get in. Started thumping out with the hostess, and the other people. Was kind of crazy. And I saw like one more, but it is not. It's not. That's not a fake act. That's a real act that's happening. I think you're asking, is this like made up? No, they're not actors. They're real people. They did get arrested. Both cases I seen, and but it's not happening on a grand scale. I think people have um, are just in the flow of like, okay, I just can't go here without this type of thing, and I'll just go where I can go. And so no, but those are not staged events, and but they're not real broad events as far as I know. Like they're not happening like every day in multiple locations. It's some people can't control themselves. At the end of the day, I'm not fighting to get in no place that don't want me. You know what I mean? You don't want my money. You don't want my presence. Eh, so is life. And then when the coin turns back, You don't ever have to patronize that place again. If you felt like if any of this is happening and you feel wrong or you feel forced into something, definitely don't ever go back there. That's your human right to look at something and go like, nah, we good. You know what I mean? So this would just be a moment in history, and certain companies will be on the proverbial right side of history, and certain companies and brands will suffer from from being on the wrong side of history in the long run. And I think that's really much going to happen. But yes, that is not those are not acts, and they have happened, but they haven't been like a major event. It's not like 50 of them happening a day, as far as I know. They're occasional, and but that's just human emotion happening too. A lot of people can't be told. A lot of people get upset when they have a boundary set before them. A lot of people are habitual line steppers, and it's really hard for them to deal with the fact that someone's telling them just no, you can't because of here. So, wow, I think I answered all of them. And yeah, this is Good Monday Jump Off. Please, just send any questions, and definitely you can always support the brand and by going to the websites, post it, grabbing a elite shirt or showing love to the group fitness brand, Virtual Fitness League. I got a beautiful team of trainers, and or the Cashapp, Khepresh. And yeah, follow me on Clubhouse, Khepresh. Follow me on Instagram, Netaru Rush. Yeah, and just keep the questions coming. I hope I answered them, anonymous. I appreciate that, and I'll see everybody next week. Stay healthy, stay motivated, take care of yourself, get proper rest. The routine. Just keep being great. One life, one love. Peace.